And good evening, and this is Chief Meteorologist. Thank you so much for joining us on Southeast Michigan extended news coverage at 9 p.m. Thank you so much. We've got a lot to cover. We're going to be talking about all the breaking news. Today, we're going to get you all caught up and all the reports of what you need to know, including school closings as well. We will follow the school closings, but we really need to pay attention to the weather forecast and all of those reports as well and breaking news. We will begin uh, with WXYZDetroit.com right now with a special report special at halftime with Hallie Vogel in the Weather Center. And let's listen in on her report.
First Alert Weather Day special report.
Oh, good evening. I'm 7 First Alert meteorologist Hallie Vogel. Of course, we've been tracking this winter storm all day. We'll continue to track it through tonight. And I know a lot of people, of course, watching the big game, trying to get home tonight. So I want to track your hour-by-hour forecast to let you know what conditions are going to be like by the time the game wraps up, or even when you're headed out in the morning. Of course, hundreds of school closes, and you want to check out our website for that as well. But let's get to the forecast, and let's get to some of those snowfall totals. Rather impressive across Monroe County, closing in on a foot in Temperance in Monroe County. Romulus at the airport, almost 10.5 inches. And we're adding on to these, of course, because the snow is still falling. Monroe, 10 inches. The city of Ann Arbor, 9. You can see the list go down to Allen Park at about 8 inches. What we're dealing with, a winter storm morning until 7 o'clock in the morning. That covers all of us in the metro area. And there are different components to this major winter storm. Not only the snow itself, but the winds are picking up as the area of low pressure passes just off to our south, creating blowing and drifting snow, even hard to measure at times. And then once it does start to move on through, it's going to continue to draw in some very cold air, frigid wind chills, and we're looking at wind chills below 0 on many cases tomorrow morning. So we're looking maybe 5, even 10. I'll show you that in just a few minutes. As far as the snow bands right now, some of the heavier snow bands situated near and just north of I-69. If I were to draw a line right there, you can see through Flint, Lapeer, trying to edge into areas like Port Huron. These rates are about an inch an hour, and that is not too unusual from what we've been seeing late afternoon through the evening hours. They will start to back down. I'm anticipating it's not going to end the snow, but it will back down after about 10 o'clock tonight, and then we'll start to see the remaining things wrapping up toward morning hours. These are wind gusts, so you anticipate sustained winds, meaning longer duration winds, anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour. But some of these stronger gusts, like in Windsor, 35 miles per hour right now, up to 25 in Pontiac, and also at Metro, also at Port Huron, reporting some of those strong northeast winds. And when we look at our actual forecast for wind gusts, you can see we're not seeing much relief even into the morning hours tomorrow. So another factor, as I talked about, wind chills, it's going to be a big deal as we go through your day tomorrow, because our actual temperatures are only going to be in the teens. So prepare for that if the kids do want to play in the snow. Of course, a lot of schools closed. Now we're looking at our FAST graphic. This is our First Alert storm thread, how we rate the different categories. Snowfall rates right now, up to about a 4, meaning a ½ inch to an inch an hour in many locations. The winds increasing, that's going to be a factor, as I mentioned, with blowing and drifting snow. The cold temperatures, need to bundle up. And then roads, just a mess, trying to clean things up as the snow comes down at a pretty good rate. Now we start to look also at the dynamics on more of a wider perspective. At one point, the storm was the length over 1,000 miles wide, believe it or not. So we have a lot of land to get through, a lot of coverage before we really start to see the back edge. But I anticipate things to improve through the overnight. Winter storm warnings from Iowa all the way to the East Coast. And you can just see how that cold air just backing that system, 19 below the air temperature, International Falls, 1 below in Fargo. Right now it is 20 degrees at Metro, but teens elsewhere. And you saw those winds, you saw those wind gusts, so you can imagine it really knocks down wind chills. Feels like 2 below in Windsor, 7 degrees at Metro, only 2 degrees in Pontiac, and those wind chills will drop even more so. So for tonight, temperatures down to near 11 degrees. Still anticipating some of this heaviest snow to fall up until about 10. That's a roundabout time. Keep in mind, you're going to see a lot of blowing and drifting continuing. And then a quick look at some of those wind chills by 9 o'clock. We're talking anywhere from 5 to almost 15 degrees below 0, with highs only in the teens tomorrow. Groundhog Day. I imagine that Woody the Woodchuck in Howell is going to say, forget about it. But overall, we are looking at least several more inches to fall as we go through tonight. So we're going to have to tack on to some of the snowfall totals. And Alex is here. And I know you've been so busy on social media, and I'm sure maybe some questions out there.
Yeah, people were going crazy over the snowstorm. One question we had, a lot of questions about possible snowfall records today at all.
We did tweet that. Let's get to the graphic. I'll show you that graphic right now. And as far as snowfall record, yes, we did set a snowfall record for Detroit. Not to turn my back on you, Alex. If we can take the computer, I'll show you that we are at 10.4 inches so far, and of course adding on to that, so we did break a daily snowfall record in Detroit. The old record 9.8 back in 1881, and a lot of people say, what if you get a foot of snow? Is it all that common? It's really not. We've only seen a foot of snow or more recorded in history 12 times, and we are so far, Adam, what is it, 25th place so far? Or we're up to about 25th place for the largest, quote, snowstorm.
That's
not bad.
Crazy. Great. And Freddie had a specific question.
Okay.
He said, how much more snow in the Canton area? He just wants to know.
Probably, don't we? But I would say about another 2 to 3 inches.
Okay.
You know, it's going to start tapering off through the overnight, but yeah, enough to just keep up with it.
In our last tweet, when is it going to end? I know you touched on it a little bit, but Metro Detroit area, when is the snow going to taper off a little bit?
The back end looks to be about 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, and then, believe it or not, we should see some sunshine by tomorrow afternoon, although it's going to be really cold.
That's great. Thank you so much. I'm going to go back to Twitter, see
Okay.
what people are tweeting
Thanks
about.
for all your help. And of course, we want you to get home safely after your Super Bowl parties, so just take it slow. Roads are going to be a mess, and I anticipate it all the way through the morning. But bundle up, and of course, we'll have a full forecast on 7 Action News at 10 and 11 tonight.
This has been a 7 First Alert Weather Day special report.
And thank you so much, Eric Tolman, for that special report from Channel 7 Action News, WXYZ, Detroit. And we're going to try and fill in one more report, and then we'll have your questions and answers. You can also go to our Twitter page at Eric Tolman3, and I will try and have that listed on our page when we edit the entire video. We'll actually have it posted on the screen, so then that way you're able to tweet to us and tell us how we're doing and what you thought about the coverage about today. And we're going to have much more stories. A whole bunch is breaking out right now, so we're going to try and fill in one more news coverage, and then we'll be back shortly and we'll talk more about the winter storm, when it's going to warm up. But once again, we're still going to be under that winter storm warning until 7 a.m. on Monday, so do expect that to be a good possibility. And thousands of schools across southeast Lower Michigan are officially closed because of all of the snow that we've gotten, and a lot of areas are going to have about a foot of snow, so that means that there's going to be a lot of shoveling to do. So I have actually been here at the weather desk for the last 48 hours, and it has just been very, very busy. A lot of phone calls today, and a lot of action on Twitter, a lot of social media, you know, in terms of what's been going on. So we're gonna fill in another report, and then we'll see you back here at 10:30. But once again, the heavy snow is going to start wrapping up, and it should stop at 10 o'clock. But we will keep you posted on that, and if there's any changes to that, we most definitely will bring that to you as soon as possible. With that, let's go over to our other weather coverage as well. Let's get another report, how people are supposed to prepare for the winter storm, and much more.
First Alert Weather Day coverage continues as Metro Detroiters scramble to stock up on food, gas, and supplies before the snowstorm arrives. 7 Action News reporter Jane Park is live in Royal Oak. So Jane, how are people preparing for this weather? And, you know, there's that big football game Sunday.
Right, Dave. Well, just a few hours ago, the Meijer here off Coolidge Highway in Royal Oak was packed. Things have quieted down a little bit, but it's still pretty busy here in the parking lot, and people have been telling us the lines were long. A lot of people are coming out here making a last-minute trip to get everything they need for the Super Bowl before all of that snow we've been talking about all day finally arrives. Hours before the snow is expected to arrive, Metro Detroiters are preparing, enduring long lines at the grocery store,
It took an hour to get out.
and making sure they have enough fuel for the road.
We just did a bunch of running around so that we didn't have to go out tomorrow, stop by and pick up the groceries, stop to get some gas, get some kerosene, so we don't have to do anything tomorrow other than shovel the snow.
And shoveling they will be before heading out to Super Bowl parties, which many say won't be canceled just because of the snow. That means brisk business for hardware stores. George Frentz says he's almost all out of the most popular calcium chloride.
The products are in short demand around here. A lot of the East Coast companies shipping to the East Coast.
Also likely to be in high demand during the peak of the football game and the snowstorm, pizzas. The delivery guys at Hippie's Pizza are on the road until 3 a.m., and they're being told to be ready for the onslaught.
Be safe. Watch out for other drivers, basically, is our main thing. And if you can't get down the road, don't risk getting stuck.
But when football's biggest event coincides with the winter whammy,
We're going to definitely go to a Super Bowl party.
Michiganders seem
Now,
unfazed.
a 7 First
It
Alert
snows
Weather Day
everywhere.
special report.
Well, good evening. I'm 7 First Alert meteorologist Hallie Vogel. Of course, we've been tracking the winter storm bearing down in the
We
metro
certainly
area,
have a point
and this
that
will
even if we
continue
do
to somewhat
see
wind
several
down
inches
here
of
through the
snow
overnight
tomorrow,
hours
we
before
shouldn't have anything
giving
to
way
worry
to at
about
least
if
drier
we have
conditions
the
tomorrow morning.
ability to
With
just
that said, we
stay
still have
home,
the
stay
winter
warm,
storm
and watch
warning
the
until
football
7
game
o'clock
from
in
the
the morning,
comfort of
posted
our
by the
own
National
couch.
Weather Service.
We are
What
live
is
in Royal
encouraging
Oak,
is
Jane Park,
at least
7
we're seeing
Action
some what we
News.
call dry spots developing. You can see it south of Battle Creek, just beginning to edge in to southern Michigan. But we are going to continue to watch the snowfall rates, and there's still light to occasional bursts of moderate snow, even as we go through the overnight hours. And then just prior to daybreak or close to, we should start to see this tapering off somewhat. Watch for blowing and drifting snow, though, through the evening. We still will deal with strong northeast winds through tonight and wind chills below zero. I will have a full forecast, and we'll have full storm coverage on both WXYZ and TV20 at 10 and 11 o'clock tonight.
This has been a 7 First Alert Weather Day special report. Stay safe and prepared with updates at WXYZ.com or the 7 Action News and Storm Shield apps.
And we just want to thank Eric Tolman so much for doing all of the behind the scenes and getting all of our stories together. And I know we have a whole bunch of other stories coming up, but we just want to thank our chief meteorologist Eric Tolman for doing what he did today, keeping us all in line, making sure that we were prepared for the storm, making sure that people were kind of aware of what was going on. And that was actually the main thing, just making sure that everybody was kind of aware of what was going on. And that must have been a very hard thing for you, Eric. Well, actually, to be honest with you, it was a lot of work just trying to put all the bits and pieces together, just trying to make sure that everybody was kind of aware of what was going on. We still have other stories that we're trying to break out. We've had several stories that are still streaming right now on YouTube, so we have a lot going on right now. And I believe we were just handed this a couple minutes ago, and I think this is actually good news. We just want to let you know this is a very special announcement. We just want to let you know on January the 7th, 2015, this is actually a very, very shocking note, but this is actually a story that Eric Tolman, chief meteorologist, that has been working with us since 2006. Actually, the name of the story that he was covering for Southeast Michigan was school closings and winter weather advisories and warnings in Southeast Michigan, and we had about 82 views, and we're actually at #1 on the 10 video chart. Will show you that, and actually that knocks down the top 10. Oh my gosh, are you telling me that story actually went up to the top 10 of the list? And I didn't think that we were going to have that many viewers that were going to be watching that. And I didn't really think that it was going to make history. Now I wonder if all these other videos that we do are going to make history as well. Well, we'll just have to wait and find out. It actually takes time, because when we started doing our live stream this morning, that's when things began to bloom, and that's when we started seeing people watching it. Now, we don't really have the exact results right now. We're still holding at 1,401 views right now on YouTube, but that is going to actually start adding up. The more videos that we have and the more viewers that we have, we're kind of keeping a very close eye on that as well. And we've been on we've been on Twitter, we've been on Facebook today, trying to keep everyone in line of what's going on. We're going to try and make sure that this as well is live streamed on Facebook as well, and that is probably going to be the most interesting thing of the day. But we just want to give everyone heads up that that story that we did on January the 7th, 2015 is the top 10 with 82 views on the title, School Closings and Winter Weather Advisories and Warnings in Southeast Michigan. Eric, I just cannot believe how well you did that story. You are very amazing. I don't know what we would do without you. You know exactly what you're doing. You have really hit it off. You've really done it. You go behind the scenes. You've done everything for us. God bless you. Well, thank you very much. I'm just overwhelmed today, you know, how much coverage that we have had, and we're still not done, unfortunately. And we just got information that the National Weather Service says that we are going to see more heavy snow, and it has been extended. So even though we told you that it was only going to be until 10 o'clock, well, we're going to have to deal with the heavy snow for the next several hours to come. So we're not completely done with that. We'll kind of detail all that. We still have a lot of breaking news, traffic, and a bunch of school closings across southeast Michigan that have actually closed. And we'll give you the numbers, the total numbers of school closings as well. When I come back in just a little bit, we'll round up those numbers. And just about all the counties in southeast Michigan for school districts will be officially closed, unfortunately, but that's actually a good thing because the kids are going to love being out in that snow, playing in the snow, making a snowman, throwing snowballs at each other. You know, I wish that I could do that, but I'm a weatherman. I gotta be here doing my job, right? I've been at this weather desk for the 48, 72-hour shift, and I'm going. So without that, I don't think it would be the same. Yeah, exactly. But the whole question is, it's been a while since that we've had significant snow such as this. I mean, we have had a foot of snow before, but I think that was actually a long time ago. I can't remember when, but you know, anything can happen. Well, the thing of it is that we were kind of telling the people, the viewers on all local news stations, like on Local 4 and etc. Those are more reports that are coming in, so that means we got to get back to work. But anyway, before we end this, we just want to tell you that we kind of try to give you an advance on when the storms are going to hit. And even though we told you 1 to 2 inches of snow, that is usually not a big deal. But when it comes to sleet, freezing rain, and ice, and all of that, that does make an impact. And especially with today's storm, it most definitely made a heroic impact as well. And I mean, people, I'm going to tell you, people are going crazy right now on Twitter. They're sending tweets. They want to know what's going on. They just don't know what to do. We have been trying to follow up on that, try and, you know, follow up with other meteorologists, try to figure out exactly what's going on, other updates, so we can kind of pass on that information. We've actually been in contact with some people from myfoxdetroit.com, one meteorologist, Derek. We've been in contact with him. So even though that we're one news station, it doesn't matter exactly who you depend on, but the most important thing is that the communication is there, and we're working as a team together, and we're trying to make it all work. So we're really trying to extend all the news coverage, and it's going to be better than ever for 2015. And we kind of announced that in 2014 when we were ending the year of 2014. We did announce that we were going to be making some big time changes. So that's going to be a big plus. So we've got much more coming up at 10 o'clock So stay tuned. We've got more breaking news coming up, and we're always taking action for you. And we'll see you back here at 10 o'clock with more coverage on the breaking news, which is the snowstorm, of course, and that winter storm warning will continue for all of southeast Michigan until 7 a.m. Monday morning. This is our extended coverage of the 9 p.m. news coverage. We'll see you back here at 10 o'clock for more. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you at 10 p.m. for our extended newscast as well. Stay tuned for more, and thank you for watching for this update.